Okay folks, 25 past 8 or thereabouts, and it's just started raining. Only just. Yeah, not too hard. And let's take a look around at the sky still. It still doesn't look stormy to me. Yeah, rain, but nothing. It doesn't look like serious rain. Certainly doesn't look stormy. No hint of thunder and lightning. Let's see how things develop later. I wanted to look at the weather app again because, you know, I like a laugh. So now, you remember a while ago there was going to be no noticeable rain until 10 o'clock? Well, it's raining already. 9 o'clock's going to have rain. Only 1 millimetre though, apparently. And now, all of a sudden, 10 o'clock is going to be the heaviest rain of the night. Who knew? All day it's been 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock have been the heavy points. 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock in the morning. They're now negligible. Everything's coming down at 10 o'clock. Or between 10 and 11. Also noticeable that the total daily volume has fallen. Despite us not having had any rain, all that 50 and 60 millimetre stuff, that's gone. We're looking at 33 millimetres and 11 of it's going to come in the 10 while 11 slot. So that's nice. And then everything else is just 4s and 5s, 3s, 4s and 5s until 7 in the morning, when effectively everything ends. Who knew? Alright, I mean for now it's just a slight bit of rain. I haven't even closed the tent door. If it carries on, which it's supposed to do according to this, if it carries on I'll close the tent door shortly. But I'm just letting in a bit of air and the last light of the day really. So yeah, that's the state of play. Stay tuned. Updates throughout the night, I'm sure. Guys, it's what, 20:52, coming up for 5 to 9, and we have a major problem already. I don't know how else it's going to show on camera. I think that the tap over the tent, over the roof, is leaking right at the very top, and water is running down all the walls of the tent, including the bedroom area. The area over there is wet. It's been raining less than half an hour. And you can see the different coloured patches on the wall. I don't know how well it shows. This is wet. All this back wall is wet. And we're only half an hour in. Like I said, we've got all night to go. We've got all night to go. Bit of a disaster really. Oh well, we'll see how things go. Okay guys, it's 21:48, 10 to 10, and the rain is just easing off now, just stopping. So we've had kind of what, an hour and a quarter of fairly solid rain. There's no point me trying to film inside the tent here in the dark. Even with the light from the camera, you don't get the full sight of it. The walls are wet, but I don't think it's as disastrous as it looked like it was going to be in those first 10-15 minutes. Yes, the walls are wet. Yes, there's some of my clothes that are piled up in one corner here are wet or damp. Well, no, probably wet. I haven't checked. But we've survived it. There was a little bit of dripping in from the roof at one point, but that seemed to ease off. The mattress got a little bit wet on top in one corner, but nothing, considering that we've had an hour of solid rain, nothing to write home about. Not like when I was under the tarpaulin in the early days of this channel, and My mattress was like a sponge, it just soaked up hundreds of water. And I woke up one morning lying in a pool of water. Nothing like that. If we look at the weather app now, I mean, I've got it open so you can see what's what. You can see the forecast. They're now saying 10 while 11 is going to be heavy rain and then everything else fairly light, according to the graphics. Let's scroll down to the precipitation and see what they're actually saying. Everything's evaporated. Everything's gone. We're still looking at fairly substantial rain according to this 10 while 11. I think that might be what we've just had. They've been wrong on everything else all day. The rain that we just had might have been that 5 millimeters. It certainly wasn't a nothingness, and it wasn't just a 1 millimeter. We've just had an hour and a quarter of fairly solid rain in the end. So I don't know. The rest of this might just disappear. The others, 0.3 of a millimeter and stuff, these are just nothingness. Until what? 3, 4, 5 in the morning? Yeah. I think basically that might have just taken the brunt out of it. I can hear now the cars that are driving by on the main road, they're driving through the wet, and that'll give the chance. When this field used to flood, it was the runoff from down the hills. So now the pause in the rain gives that all a chance to run away harmlessly before it builds up too much. So we're both dry. Like I said, one corner of the bed got a little bit damp on top. Nothing to worry about. Oh, excuse me. The wind is the next worry. In my mind, once it gets above 20 kilometers is when we start to feel it. And at the 30 kilometer mark, 30 kilometers an hour mark, it would be pretty intolerable in here. And that's basically the story for all day tomorrow. I mean, 40 and 45 kilometers, that's going to be hell. I mean, the tent might not survive that. And in those conditions, that wind all day, I'm not going to be able to run any kind of running repairs on the tent with whatever's gone wrong with the roof. But fortunately, oh gosh, sorry, I'm getting tired. Fortunately, there's no real rain tomorrow, so I don't need to worry about the running repairs. Let's take a look at the week ahead. So today we know about Sunday's only the morning, only first thing in the morning. This keeps changing. So Wednesday is the next rain after tomorrow morning. That'll give me a couple of days to examine what I need to do. Or even that, look, even that's only a couple of hours in the morning. Start 5 o'clock Wednesday morning, finish by 10 or 11. And it's all subject to change before then. So nothing to worry about really till next weekend, probably. Oops. So guys, there we go. It is as it is. I think we're dry and safe. I'm actually a little bit cool. I'm in this strange phase where as soon as it gets below 30 degrees, I now feel cold. If we go back, what is this? 23 degrees, allegedly. So yeah, that would feel cold. I might actually have to get into bed tonight, get under the blankets. Or at least under the top blanket. Okay folks, hopefully no more developments in the night. I could do without that, but if there are, I'll come back to you. Okay guys, this is absolutely unbelievable. Absolutely fucking unbelievable. 11:30. And do you remember the last section I said, what was that, when it rained 9 while 10, I thought maybe that was it. No, 10 o'clock onwards rained. It's still raining. But Whereas the weather app seemed to show that that was kind of more or less it, things were going to peter out from then onwards. Here's where we are now. You remember that the like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock had been all day long had been highlighted as being the most rain. Those were going to be the heavy spots. And then when we got the rain earlier, 8:30, well 10, it suddenly said, oh no, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, almost no rain, or actually no rain. Well, let's have a look at this now. Look at this. Look at this. 2 o'clock has gone from having no rain to having 14.2 millimeters predicted. And look at all the other hours. 7.6, 8.6. Well, it's all 7s and 8s, apart from the 3 o'clock slot. Where the hell's that come from? Those disappeared. Those disappeared. Look at it. It's now 7, 8, 4, 5, whatever millimeters through. We're still finishing 11 or 12. I mean, that's still the end of it. Well, you're telling me that 2 o'clock in the morning, which is about 2.5 hours away, is going to be the heaviest of the storms. We've had 2 claps of thunder as well, by the way. So I now have to stay awake until at least, what, 3 o'clock to make sure that there are no mega effects. Whereas you clearly said before that it was over. I was hoping there'd be no more updates. Sorry. In terms of actual dryness, I got one corner of the bed here that is, it's got water on the surface. This corner of the bed, but it won't. It's not like deep. It's not like it's penetrated. It's not like it's wet through. It's a few drips. The water's running down the inside of the tent basically, but mainly it's running down the inside the tent, but the outside of the bedroom, with the occasional drip leaking through. Usually quite low down, and that's why it's landing on the edge of the bed and the corner of the bed. Okay, guys. Like I said, I was hoping there'd be no more updates. I still hope there'll be no more. I actually fully, looking at this, I can't see how there won't be, unless I just fall asleep and I'm not here conscious to do an update. Fully expecting an update. Catch you later. The white streaks that you can see, no, not the thunder and lightning outside, but the white flashes inside the tent. Those are water droplets. What's happening is we've got water coming in various places, some at the top and some further down. They hit the mesh of the bedroom, the fabric that the bedroom of the tent is made of, and they split, the water droplet splits into kind of a fine mist. Lots of little, it's the fine stuff that gets you wet. Oh, so that's fun. We are getting damp now. Yes, Tina. She's a little bit frightened by it all. Come down and lay down. Stay away from the edge. Come on, lay down under your jacket. She's got my big coat on. She was, to begin with, she got right into this corner. I don't know if you can see how wet that is. She was right there, and when I fell over, she'd got the coat and herself a little bit wet because she was touching the wall. I got a couple of theories as to what's going on here. I mean, in part, the tarpaulin over the top isn't waterproof. I think with it being strapped to the top of the tent for a couple of weeks, it's maybe pulled and torn and got stretched, especially where it lands on the top of the dome of the tent. It's pulled. But also down the sides, I think what's happening is the outer tent has sagged down because it's split wide open all along the top. It's sagged down, and I think it's touching the inner lining, the bedroom lining, and that breaks the waterproof bonds of the fabric. Like when you touch the inside of a tent and cause water to come through. Well, it's doing that all over because the outer fabric is sagged and is just sitting, it's laying on the inner bedroom. So I think it's the combination of those two things. Anyway, what time are we on? This is 6:25. Now between 2 and 3:30 was really bad weather-wise. But now is the first thunder and lightning proper. And the weather app says that we're in for like 2 or 3 millimeters of rain. The weather app's just been so wrong all along. It's been pathetic. But we've got thunder and lightning now. The rain isn't coming through the tent as much now. Everything feels like it's slightly damp. It's not wet, although I think I'm laying on 2 mattresses, one on top of another, and I think the bottom one's really wet, and the one I'm laying on is wet at the bottom, and then it's got this general dampness on top. Corner's a little bit more wet, especially this corner. But we're surviving, we're alright, considering we're in a tent that's got the roof blown wide open. If we survive rain that's this bad, then we're alright, aren't we? This was predicted to be 50 millimeters of rain in total. I don't know if it ever got that much. Certainly what we're getting now is more than is predicted for now. But yeah, if we survive this, we can survive anything. Or if the tent survives this, we'll survive anything. Tomorrow's going to be, well, today as it is now, with it being 6 in the morning, whatever I said it was, 6:30 nearly. The winds that are predicted for today that are in the above 40 kilometres an hour, those are my big worry now. I just hope we can get some good drying time in and get everything outside and dried, including the mattresses if they need it. Okay guys, later. Okay folks, it's 10:20 Sunday morning. We survived the night. Taking out the 2 mattresses to dry. Tent itself, what can I say? Not really sure what was going on at the top. I don't know why water seemed to come in so high up. I have a theory. I'm going to build a bed. Even if it just gets me off the ground a few inches. So that any water that does get in that pools, the mattress doesn't want to be sat in it and just soak. So moving into a tent that's basically just the size of that bedding area would be difficult. We might have to. It's an option that we have thanks to you guys. Subscriber number 100, who remains anonymous. Nothing to worry about. Except the wind. I mean, even if we're outside with no tent, we would survive that quite comfortably. The other side of those trees, you can hardly stand up because of the wind. Without those trees, this tent would have gone. I mean, it's not in good shape. We just had to patch a bunch of holes and put a bunch of tent pegs back in the ground. We've got rips in the side of the tent. Look at these trees. Look how much they're blowing in the wind. I have very little confidence we're going to get through the night unscathed. Everything out here is blowing around wildly. You can see my chair got blown away. We almost got hit by a flying branch coming back from the main road. Those are some huge gusts of wind now. Maybe I spoke too soon about the trees protecting us. Apparently we're at the strongest part of the wind now.